Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast, a twice-weekly show looking into the sometimes exciting happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club. My name is Mikey Pensy-Smith, and after 7 days we'd rather not rewind and do again, I'm joined by Craig David. How are you both?
Very good.
Good, yeah. Did it take you all of 7 seconds to put that together? Bang.
Well, you've always got to have a plan when you go into such things, haven't you?
Or even
you've
7 days. Go on.
Yeah. So you were both at the game yesterday. Quick thoughts on that one?
Go on, Craig.
Do you steal any seats, Dave?
No seats. Although I could have stole a seat yesterday. As I said, that's what I put it down to. I wasn't in my lofty perch, and that's why I think
you could have stole about 20,000 seats by 90 minutes.
To be after about 80, I think I probably could.
So Dave, do you only sit in the pod seat when I've got the season ticket and I'm supposed to be sitting in it?
Exactly what it is. Yeah, Ben says we'll have a bit of fun with Mikey. No, it's back in my usual seat. Yesterday. With not such a good view. It probably was just as well, to be fair.
And Craig, did you stick it out for the whole game?
Yeah. I'm a bit macabre like that. I often stick around just to see what the reaction is going to be like from the crowd. See if there's any more like post-Hull huddles in the centre circle.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. You never know quite what's going to happen after a big home defeat. But yeah, let's rewind a little bit. And after the tough evening, shall we call it, in South Yorkshire. Perhaps it wasn't tougher for anyone quite as much as it was for Emir Hughes, who limped off with an ankle injury after a difficult night. And Paul Lambert has admitted that injury is to his ankle and that it is a bit of a worry, whatever that means. And he also revealed that Teddy Bishop has suffered a setback. So, Craig, do you have any confidence that these two problems will be overcome quickly?
Well, I've slightly more confidence that Hughes isn't his knee. So, if it's a knock, then it's bruising and he may be back sooner rather than later. Bishop, who knows? That's, we haven't really given any details for it, have we?
He said in his post-match thing on Suffolk, I heard on the way home yesterday, that had there been a midweek game coming up this week, then neither of them would have been in consideration. But he didn't discount them being in consideration for Saturday. But we've all heard that before, haven't we?
Right. Whether they're fit enough to start in that case as well, who knows?
I don't know, but it didn't seem to be. Certainly Hughes, Bishop, who knows with Bishop, but it didn't seem to be too long term. But who knows?
Yeah, that news came out, of course, on deadline day. It was made obvious quite early on that we weren't going to be doing much business. Yeah, we're used to that, aren't we? I mean, deadline day to us is just the last Friday of January. But Ben Falami did go out on loan to Stevenage, and apparently late on Friday night, we turned down a couple of bids for Armando Dobra. How much would we have had bid, Dave, for you to have snapped?
I don't know. But again, Lee O'Neill came out yesterday and said that they had millions. They had bids in the millions for some of their players, which I assume was, Downs, Wolfenden or Dobra. Who the hell knows? Dobra, look, I'd like to see him in the squad now. I really would. He's something different, isn't he? Bring him off the bench. He's an impact player, all right. And fiery as well. We all know he's got a bit about him as well. And we saw what happened at Accrington away and stuff. He's got a bit about him. He'd have been an ideal player to have, certainly, I think, in the last two squads, for goodness sake. So, if they're not letting him go out on, loan and obviously not selling him, get him in the squad, I say.
Craig, do you think that red card at Accrington has held him back a little bit? He maybe lost a little bit of trust from Lambert.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was a bit of a silly, petulant red card, wasn't it, at the time? But you're saying that Lambert wants, the way Lambert talks, he wants fiery characters. He wants fight. How many times did he talk about how often, he used to be a fighter when he was a player? Mean streets of Glasgow, blah blah blah. As soon as you've got someone in the team who shows a little bit of fight, albeit yes, he got sent off, youngster, etc. But haven't seen hide nor hair of him since.
Oh, really? I mean, if Lambert says that, but it certainly doesn't, to my mind, never transmits that to the team, to my mind.
No.
We still
soft,
seem to be a soft touch.
Soft underbelly.
So that brings us on nicely to Saturday's game against Peterborough. And it was a case of, as you were, wasn't it? No players brought in, Bishop and Hughes missing out. Hughes the only player dropping out of the 11 that were abysmal at Rotherham, and it was Cole Skews that came in. Probably the sensible option, wasn't it, Dave, to bring Cole Skews in?
Yeah, prior to the game, probably the safe option. I mean, Nolan, who else would it have been? Nolan, I don't know whether he can play. Can Nolan really? Is he disciplined enough to play that holding role? Arguably not. I don't think that's his role. So, yeah, I say with hindsight, it was probably the safest move. Yeah.
So I'll just quickly run through that lineup for tradition's sake, and it was Norris in goal, Chambers, Wilson, Wolfenden, Garbutt and Edwards wing backs, Skews and Downs behind Judge, and Will Keane getting the nod over James Norwood. Were you surprised to see Will Keane get the nod again, Craig?
Yeah, I was. I said after the Rotherham pod, I said that I'd have liked Norwood to have started that match, and then what Norwood did when he came on in the Rotherham match, I thought he offered more mobility, a little bit of snap, a bit of liveliness. He just creates a bit of chaos when he comes on, doesn't he? And he misses chances, but he's creating those chances himself to miss a lot of the time, as we'll go on to later on, when we talk about the match. And he does miss chances, but he gets into positions to miss those chances. So yeah, I'd have liked him to have started yesterday.
Yeah, I must admit I wasn't at the game, but according to Soccerway, Peterborough lined up with the same formation as us, with Pym in goal, a back three of Kent, Beavers and Thompson, Wards on the right, Butler on the left, Taylor and Brown behind Samodics, and Dembele up front with Tony. No Asa and Tony anymore, but pretty formidable front three, aren't they, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, Issa was on the bench, wasn't he? I think Issa was on the bench with George Boyd was on the bench as well, I believe. We'll get to it, but yeah, they were far too good for us. Far too good.
Okay, but it actually sounded, Dave, like we started the game okay, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Edwards and particularly Chambers was, getting up the pitch really well. Chambers especially got beyond Edwards once, I think, putting an absolutely superb cross. Nothing came of it, of course, but you think, okay, more of this. Decent start. Okay, didn't trouble the keeper. Decent start, and also Garbutt. We'll come to Garbutt, no doubt, in a minute. He was getting forward in his usual manner, but obviously that all abruptly changed on about 15 minutes, was it?
Yes.
On the quarter, was it?
Yeah, about that. It was on 17 minutes.
I mean, I didn't really see what happened. Did you, Craig? He obviously just looked over and he was down, and then he got some Then he got some treatment, came back on, and then you really noticed the ball. They had a long ball, and he went to clear it, and instead of just whacking out the line, he couldn't. Yeah. Could he just sort of like? And you think, he's done. He went down. But when he walked off, clearly he was holding his thigh. So you think at first, you think, oh Christ, hamstring, groin, whatever. But he was holding his thigh. So all right, that might only be maybe a couple of weeks. I don't know. Well, who knows? But yeah, it wasn't hamstring or anything like that. Didn't appear to be anyway. But
so Miles Kenlock
disrupted our start for sure.
Miles Kenlock finally gets another Ipswich appearance. It felt like he's been out in the cold for quite a long time. But 5 minutes after his arrival, Craig, can you talk us through what happens?
Yeah. Well, it's.
Don't sound too excited about it.
Oh God, man. Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Well, it's
only going to get worse.
It's their goal kick. It's their goal kick from the floor, and we head it. I think Wilson heads it back into their half, and they clear it up basically. And I think it's their Ward. Is it Ward? Their right wing back guy has the ball. And I've watched it a couple of times since, and Judge goes over to tackle him, and instead of tackling him, he actually jumps over the ball. as if to not go full in for the tackle. So it gives Ward a little bit of time on the ball. He knocks it into Reece Brown, who knocks it forward to Tony, who first time, lovely ball, first time into the channel where Dembele's already making a run the other side of Wilson. And then it's just a foot race, which Wilson is obviously going to be second best in it. And then when they get into the area, Wilson sort of tackles from behind, from the side with his wrong foot. So instead of hooking his left foot round, he's trying to use his right foot. Bizarrely, doesn't get the ball, gets the man. Then it's just a clumsy challenge from behind. Quite why the referee didn't give it first time, I've no idea, because it looked clumsy from sitting above the corner flag where the tunnel is, let alone 80 yards closer to the action. So the referee doesn't give it in the first instance. It goes out. Chambers and Wilson congratulate each other on a fine piece of defensive work, and then all of a sudden the referee's heading over towards the linesman, who's decided that actually no, it was a foul. Ref, best you give a penalty. So it was a penalty. I've got no qualms about the penalty given itself. It was a clumsy challenge. He was just in the wrong place. He was never going to catch him. Just bizarre why the ref didn't give it in the first instance.
It's almost VAR type, wasn't it? Not quite that bad, but yeah, you think.
And not for the first time this season either.
No. Same end.
But this time the linesman on 75 quid a game got it right, didn't he? So.
He did get it right, and you think, we got away with this. And you don't see the linesman flagging, but of course they are literally in the ref's ear, aren't they? And he obviously said, "Well, are you sure about that?" Because he caught him. Then no complaints, just how it happened. Although just quickly, I saw a better one today. I think I don't know if you saw it. Spurs, Man City. Man City got a penalty, and there was like 2.5 minutes before the he got the VAR. I mean, just nuts. City missed the penalty as it was, but anyway. So yeah, it was. Yeah,
Gundogan missed his kick, but it was Tony, wasn't it? Didn't miss his, Craig.
No, Tony just slotted it away pretty comfortably. Norris didn't make much of an effort, to be fair. He didn't seem to dive. Whether he was going one way and then couldn't.
Yeah, he probably committed his weight to the other side.
Yeah.
Very absolutely weirdly identical penalty to the one later on in the game. Yeah. Absolutely identical.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. Yeah. Do you reckon there is anyone listening to this not knowing the score?
No.
We lost 4-1.
Yeah. So we could have fooled them all. Could we say, great? We could have started. Well, I'm really upbeat after yesterday. Don't know about you two, but here we go.
Yeah. Just give a description of a completely different game.
Should have done.
We'll do that next time.
Yeah.
So you're already laughing, Dave, and I haven't asked you to talk us through the second goal.
I'd laugh about
the bones out of that one.
I actually, do you know what? Look, it happens, but yeah, the second goal, it came from a really nice ball actually by Taylor, centre mid, who I thought was a good player, really, really good, composed on the ball, and a lovely ball outside of his feet, sort of curls it round. And this is where Skewes is very good. Skewes, brilliant tracking on Schmodix. Gets there before him. Great bit of play. Really bit of composed play. Wins it and rolls it back with no great pace, but you can't come out for that. Rolls it back left foot to Norris, who is, I don't know. I should have looked at this again. Probably on the edge of his 6-yard box, something like that. And here's the kicker. Has got ample time to clear this ball. Admittedly, it's on his right foot. We all know he's left-footed, predominantly left-footed. The ball is on his right foot. He's obviously not comfortable clearing it with his right foot because he controls it. And Schmodix isn't. Again, I did look at this bit. Schmodix isn't really herring in on him either. Schmodix is sort of. Then he thinks, hang on. Then he gets a little bit more interested and gives him the hurry up a bit. And he just tries to be clever. He doesn't try to drag back. He just tries to roll it left foot past Schmodix, and he gets a foot and then he's caught. Then he rolls it in from about a yard. Really, it's a shocker. But I mean, Lambert probably summed it up pretty well. At the end of the day, you can't legislate for goals like that. But to me, I don't know about you, Craig, it was that knocked the stuffing out of his game over after that. Really.
Yeah, exactly. But strangely, you say, and we all know that Norris is left-footed, but
I know what you're going to say. He tries to
drag it back onto his
right side. I know exactly what you're going to say. It's perverse, really. It was odd. I don't know. Maybe he thought if he opened himself up, he might get caught, trying to get it on his left side. Because I suppose opening him up on his left side, he's taking it towards the centre of the goal, isn't it? Look, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was it was a shocker. We've all seen it. Apparently, I didn't see it yesterday, but it was a really cracking one by the Brentford keeper yesterday against Hull.
Oh my God! Yeah, absolute shocker.
I missed it.
I
saw
out for that one.
Goal. Jesus Christ, that Benrahma.
Luckily, they're brilliant going forward. But
it was a right howler,
it was an absolute horror show, and that keeper prides himself on being really good with his feet.
Yeah.
But he's just absolutely dropped a bollock, as they say.
And you feel a bit for Norris because okay, it couldn't have happened. If he was going to do it, be up the Sir Alf end, not up the Bobby Rob, because apparently he got pelters. From what I understand, for the rest of the first half. No, that completely not.
He's in a difficult place, Norris, because Holy has established himself as a bit of a fan's favourite, hasn't he? And Norris is on loan, but it's not necessarily his fault that he's on loan and he's getting the shirt ahead of
and what comes out.
Holy. And there's definitely an argument to be made that he shouldn't be in that position, because Holy should be getting picked ahead of him.
You just don't.
But you shouldn't abuse your goalkeeper.
No, you shouldn't. I don't know about you, Craig. I'm not sure how some of these loan deals have clauses in which says, look, they have to play, or there's almost penalty charges if they
financial penalties
if he doesn't play. I don't know personally. Is there a lot to choose between both of them? No. I think Craig said, or Ben may have said, I'd have liked to have seen Holy in goal at Rotherham, for instance, because you know what's coming there, don't you? But ironically, Norris did quite well at Rotherham. Again, the goal, one thing, another. Other than that, he's probably one of our best players at Rotherham.
But we made a like for like change, didn't we? We brought Holy in for the Wickham game at home, and he played perfectly well. It was probably man of the match.
Save.
I was
the next match, didn't he?
I was surprised to see him in goal after the Lincoln game. The first game after the Lincoln game, I must admit. He dropped.
Because that was when he was rotating left, right, and centre, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Norris kept his place. It'll be interesting to see if he keeps his place at Sunderland.
Unlikely. I'd have thought unlikely.
No, you can justifiably rotate that one, I think.
Lambert makes a rare. Go on, say it, Dave.
No. Go on, carry on. Go on.
Lambert makes a rare half-time change. With Norwood coming on for Judge. So what shape do we go to after that, Craig?
It stays the same. Basically, Keane just drops deeper into the
Keane into the number 10.
Yeah, we'll call it the Judge role, because it entails doing the square root of F all while sitting in the number 10 position, and he coped pretty well with that expectation.
Shots fired from Brightlingsea. So Norris then actually makes a couple of saves at the start of the second half, but the resistance doesn't last long, does it? And whose turn is it? I think it's yours, Dave. No, it's yours, Craig. 3-0.
Is it? Yes. No, it's Craig. Yeah, go on, Craig. Talk us through it.
Yeah. So this was another free kick, but I think this time
shitstorm.
It was their free kick, and then you'd think that either one of Edwards or Chambers will head this away quite convincingly, but they decided to get in each other's way, get tangled up. If the ball sort of falls to
Keane,
Taylor, I think. No, this is the way it falls. Yeah, falls to Keane. Yeah, Keane passes to Taylor.
Yeah.
Taylor turns, and by this time Dembele's peeled off of Chambers, and he's in acres and acres of space, and it's an easy pass, but it's a decent pass, but it's an easy pass. You can see it from miles away what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Slides it in, and then Dembele's in. And to be fair to Dembele, he's cool, he's calm. He just cuts inside Wilson and just plants it in the far corner.
He's a player. He's a proper player. Yeah.
Really calm. He was. But the thing is, I know we'll talk about it in general, but him and Schmodix and Tony, just between the three of them, they were just all over us. They were interchanging positions. Yeah. They were quick. They were in our faces. They were pacey. Yeah, bright. Just
everything.
Quick on the ball as well.
Bright and sharp. Everything we're not.
Yeah.
But we've talked about how what a luxury of riches we have up front, haven't we? With Jackson, Norwood, Keane, Sears, Milligan, Sessions. Peterborough's front four is immense, isn't it, at this level?
You'd swap their front three for our front three, wouldn't you?
It's just a different. We just haven't got anything like that. All right, Jackson runs the channels, I guess, but they're just so, quick, sharp. Interchanging. We're just too predictable, just too laborious. It's bang with them. It's bang, bang, bang. It's very good, very mobile. It's too much for us. Far too good.
Actually, there's no teams in that division that play with these forwards that like to just drop deep and get a bit of time on the ball and turn and. It doesn't happen.
No.
Other teams don't do it. Other teams have got players. I'm not saying Norwood's in the class of those guys yesterday, but just players who just create havoc and get in the faces of defenders and don't give them a moment's peace. Whereas we're dropping off. We've got a number 10 who's playing in front of the back four. We've got a centre forward who's dropping into midfield. It's just leave Jackson isolated up front, and we know he can't do a job when he's isolated up front.
Touch isn't good enough. My son summed that up quite well. He said, "Dad, teams must love coming to Portman Road and playing us. Absolutely love it. Look at it. Look at the surroundings. Look at it. Everything's all right. The pitch isn't brilliant, but it's okay. Absolutely love it because they just know we're a soft touch.
Yeah, gutless.
Teams with anything about them, that is.
Teams
with anything about them.
Yeah. Which brings us on nicely to Peterborough's fourth goal, Dave.
This might even be worse.
That man that we could have signed again, wasn't it?
This possibly might be worse than the second, if it could be, because it was just so easy. It was just so easy. I mean, I think it's a clearance from Pim, I believe. Tony heads it, flicks it on unchallenged. Dembele holds off Wilson, and he really shouldn't do, but he gets a better of Wilson. Maybe just gets a touch, and maybe Wilson gets a bit unlucky. But it's a similar ball to the one that Taylor put through to Dembele for the third goal. Dembele puts it through to Smodics, and then the rest is class because Smodics just again takes it in his stride, chests it down, doesn't break stride, and just side foots it. Norris, no fault to Norris, just brilliant finish. Really composed, nice slides it in the corner, isn't it? Brilliant.
I'd be intrigued to know.
So easy.
Yeah, I'd be intrigued to know why. And I've heard from 3 different people, and we've heard ourselves that Smodic was pretty much a done deal, and we were hearing that months before the transfer deadline.
Yeah.
He was going to join us on loan. It's happening. I heard from 3 completely independent of each other people that it was going to happen. I'd be intrigued to know why it didn't happen and why we didn't think it was worth pursuing if that's the case.
Apparently he was telling people it was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on the basis of his performance yesterday, you wonder why you can't get a game in the champ for Bristol City, for Christ's sake. He's very good. Very good. Yeah.
So, I guess it was because of Teddy Bishop, wasn't it? Teddy Bishop came back in. Judge had that good game against Accrington, and maybe we just thought we don't need number 10.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the only thing I can think of. But with 11 minutes left on the clock, let's just finish this game off. The fight back was on, wasn't it, Craig? As we won a penalty of our own. The way we won the penalty was fairly similar as well to Peterborough's first goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a pretty aimless punt down the right wing from Edwards, I think it was. And Beavers looked to have it covered. What Norwood was very, very clever at, and what he's good at, is he just nudges Beavers out of the way. The guy's 6 inches bigger than him, a couple of stone heavier. He nudges him. That's what I'm saying about Norwood. Just doesn't give defenders a moment's peace. Anyway, he nudges him out the way, and then he's in on goal. And then it's very similar, almost identical challenge to Wilson's on Dembele. He's using the wrong foot to get around him and doesn't manage it, and it's another pretty stonewall penalty.
I mean, thinking about both penalties, the thing that surprised me was that I know it's a double jeopardy thing though. But I don't think Wilson was even booked, was he? I'm not sure. I'm not sure he was. But I know he probably wouldn't have been sent off because this double jeopardy penalty was given type thing. But I suppose Norwood was a bit more of an angle. But you're dead right, and that's what Norwood does. And then as soon as he gets possession, he's driving in on goal, and defenders really got no option. But
Norwood, as you mentioned earlier, just rolled it in Tony's style, didn't he? He's surely going to start at Sunderland now, isn't he? Surely.
I'd start him. I'd start him every game from now.
I would from now on.
Just get him on the pitch, for God's sake. He's not particularly cultural, but who cares? He just adds something that we don't have. We don't need any more artisan forwards, dropping deep and looking to. It's not the division to do it, is it?
No, you are. I mean, and I'm not saying Rotherham have got a bit more, but they're going to probably shithouse their way out of that division. They will. They will, and that is what a lot of what you have to do. And we just we try it, but we just don't. I don't think we've got the. Well, yeah, we haven't up to unless Norwood plays, we haven't got the personnel to do it. I don't think.
I'm worried we've lost a listener in Mullet here though. With this,
we've lost what?
We've lost a listener in Mullet, haven't we? If we're slagging off Will Keane,
well, I'm not slagging him off.
I know. We're not slagging him off, but it's horses for courses, isn't it?
Right, and, exactly.
And Norwood seems like the sensible option up front. And Will Keane's a great player to have come on, isn't it? He can change a game. He's got a lovely touch. He can hold it up.
Have they actually tried Norwood and Keane? Yeah, has that been a combination?
I think we saw it.
We tried all three of them, didn't we? We had all three of them up front at one point with Norwood on the left wing, but not as a two. Well, they may have done as a two, but not that I recall.
All right, so we've got a lot of Twitter questions, but I'll just go through the other results. There was bloody loads going on in that Twitter thread.
I think we should give them a mention. I thought Dembele was outstanding. I thought he was very, very good. Is
Dembele someone that's been there for a while and he's come back from injury, or is he a new signing?
I think he's been there. No, he's been there a little while. I think he came from like Grimsby or some of the lower reaches again. Same as Tony. Although, I did a little bit of digging up on Tony because his background. I didn't realise he came from Newcastle. He was a Newcastle player. Actually played a couple of games for Newcastle, and just drifted about on loan pretty much everywhere. Everywhere. 3 or 4 other clubs before he made the move. But yeah, Dembele, really impressed me. And he's a brother of Celtics. I thought there must be some connection, Celtics, Dembele. But you
have to be a good footballer with the surname Dembele. There just seems to be so many of them kicking about.
You really do. They were very, very, very good. But yeah.
Okay, so shout if you wanna jump in and say anything on these results. So Accrington beat AFC Wimbledon 2-1. Bolton beat Tranmere, who are really struggling, 2-0. Coventry had a battle at Bristol Rovers. They came out on top 2-1. Fleetwood edged Donny 2-1. A bit of a shock defeat for Wickham away at Milton Keynes. They're as inconsistent as we are, aren't they? Oxford, despite seemingly losing all of their players on transfer deadline day, managed to beat Blackpool, who actually also cleared the decks a little bit as well.
They're on a shocking run, Blackpool.
Portsmouth and Sunderland, they seem to play each other all the time. Portsmouth came out on top this time 2-0. Rochdale beat Shrewsbury Town 1-0. Rotherham had a difficult game at home to Burton, didn't they? And they came out on top. And the only result really that put a smile on my face was seeing that Southend finally got a win. They beat Lincoln 2-1.
My favourite player, Elvis. Elvis scored the winner, didn't he? The right back.
Elvis. So he hasn't left the building then?
No, he hadn't left the building. He hadn't yet.
Just puts our Lincoln victory into perspective.
Yeah.
Quite right. Yeah. There's always a negative spin that we can put on things, isn't there?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to run through the top 11. I think it's looking like these are the teams that are in the battle for the playoffs / automatic. So Burton have dropped down to 11th. Doncaster are still in 10th. I could still see Doncaster getting in. Fleetwood have climbed up to 9th, 42 points. Oxford 2 points ahead in 8th. Sunderland are 7th on 45 points. So they've dropped down, obviously, with Pompey, who have won 4 in a row in the league, now 6th. It's quite ominous, that, isn't it? They're on 47 points. Coventry 1 point ahead of them after their victory. Then we're level on points with Coventry with 1 goal better goal difference. So yeah, that defeat yesterday did knock our goal difference as well, didn't it? So we're both on 48 points. Peterborough have leapfrogged us into third on 49, and then Wickham somehow still in second on 50 points, and Rotherham out in front now on 53.
I mean, if you look at those,
tight.
If you look at those, okay, probably you've got to think they're going to be playing each other. Right down to 10th, Doncaster, Fleetwood, Oxford. Put Sunderland to one side, Pompey and Coventry all got 2 games in hand on us. If Fleetwood win their 2 games in hand, they'll have the same number of points as us. If we lose to Sunderland have got a game in hand, one goal difference, 12 against 11. So if Sunderland beat us, we're probably going to be below them.
And if you look at the form table, the top 6 or 7 in the form table are pretty much Rotherham, Coventry, Peterborough, Sunderland, Portsmouth, Burton. They're all the teams that are there. They're all in at top of the form table.
They're all there. And a team like Portsmouth, they just don't lose it. Well, I haven't. I think they're the only stat last night. They're the only football league club that haven't lost at home, I don't think, in the whole of the EFL. So, their home form's going to keep them up there, get the odd away win your games at home. You're going to say it there or thereabouts this season. Feel probably there if they continue where they are. Not promising, lads. Not promising.
No. Yeah, I'm thinking if we lose at Sunderland, which is probably the most likely outcome going up there, we've then got Wimbledon away on the Tuesday night. That could be a.
We could be classic. 8th, but looking at it and looking at the cold facts, we could go down that somewhere like 8th. But looking at the facts, that's where we should be. We haven't beaten anyone in the top 8. That's perhaps where we are.
Yeah, I think I heard on the midweek show that Portsmouth won Division 1 in 2003 without beating anyone in the top 8.
No way. Seriously?
Apparently, yeah. They were brilliant, weren't they?
Oh, they must have. So the season
they probably didn't lose as many, but we beat them 3-0 at home and won.
Drew away.
We drew 0-0 away.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Oh, that's something to aspire to then.
Yeah.
Well, wish we had Merson though strolling around our midfield. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it?
We have an international footballer playing number 10 for us. Thank you.
And if someone summed him up, and if someone, coldly, and it's factual again, Ipswich arguably ended the best days of his career. Luke Hyam did, didn't he? Because he was going all the way. Judge back then was absolutely flying, wasn't he? He was on his way to the Premier League. You're not saying with Brentford, but with someone, and sad, but yeah.
And Luke Hyam doesn't even seem to get a game for Southend. I don't know whether that's
I think he might have
injury problems or what. Yeah,
I think he's had 1 or 2 injuries. Yeah, but if you can't get in that team, I guess you're struggling a bit.
Tell you who I did think about the other day that you never hear about anymore is Liam Trotter.
Oh, Trotter.
Is he still kicking about? I always thought he was. I was always convinced that teams would pick him up because he looked like he should be a really good player.
Had a goal in it, didn't he? Had a goal in it.
Big, strong, 6'3". But I didn't rate him.
Went to where did he go after? Went to Millwall, didn't he?
Millwall, Bolton.
Didn't he?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He can't be that old though, can he? What's he? 30, 31, 32. He's not. Retirement age, is he?
Well, the same age, exactly the same age, and this guy's name came up last week. I don't know if it was on our WhatsApp or something. Yeah, it was. I think Owen Garvin. Apparently, he disappeared off the radar retired. Back in Ireland and disappeared off the radar completely. He's only 32. So I would have thought roughly the same age. Well, yeah, I think they're both in that same. Were they both in that same Ipswich youth winning squad?
So sorry. So Liam Trotter.
Where is he?
Spent a couple of years at AFC Wimbledon. He now plays for Orange County.
Oh, wow.
In California.
How old is he?
He is 31.
Yeah. Oh, fair play to him.
3 years older than Tom Adeyemi. What's he? 28. He hasn't got a club yet, is he? Either. It's a graveyard, isn't it, for central midfielders? Ipswich Town.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah.
Right. So let's do the Twitter questions. Let's get stuck in. And as usual, I apologise if I haven't read your question. There was just too many good ones. and the people that got them in first maybe were prioritised a little bit. But yes, Andy Grimes. This is a running theme, the psychology of it all. He asks, I'll go to you first, Craig. Would you agree that our biggest problems are psychological? Our confidence is paper thin and we constantly buckle in the big games. How does Lambert fix this?
It answers the first question, yes. I think it is. We've got quite a substantial mountain of evidence to back up the fact that, was it 10 years we've just, in the big games, whether it be local derbies, whether it be games on telly, whether it be full houses, we just do not perform. Yeah, we do. Norwich home playoff leg aside, probably my 40th birthday that day as well, as it happens. We just don't perform in them. We just disappear. We just never seem to be up for them. I know it's a shitty phrase, to be up for it, but we just don't seem to have we said it on Wednesday, the leaders on the pitch to drag us along. Yeah, we go a goal down, game's over. Yeah, the stats.
So what does he do? What does he do then? What does he do? Should they go out on the piss the night before? They've got to do something different, haven't they? What should they do?
I think it should. Come out with us to Woodbridge, to the pool. We'll have a curry first. We'll end up in a pool and have a fight.
That's maybe not what Andy Grimes was expecting, but it's at least a suggestion, isn't it?
Oh, it's a great suggestion.
I don't know what we do, Andy. Not a clue, mate. But yes, I fully agree that I think it's got to be mental now, isn't it? And the thing is, the longer it goes on, and now it's now the thing about the top 8 teams. We can't beat the top 8 teams. Well, now that's the thing. Whereas previously it was, we haven't beaten Norwich. We can't beat Norwich. Now we can't beat these top 8 teams.
Didn't when we kept failing in the playoffs, didn't George Burley got shrinking, didn't he? We got a bloody psychologist in. I'm sure we did, didn't we?
And David Sheepshanks changed the away goals rule, didn't he? So that helped as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else they could do differently. Maybe I think Daryl has been pointing out, without being heavily critical of Luke Chambers, but he's sort of pointed out
the common denominator, hasn't he?
It is Luke Chambers, yeah. So maybe take Luke Chambers out of it, put him on the touchline or something, because he's been there the whole time, hasn't he?
He has been the common denominator. So
it would be a pretty rogue thing to do though in a big game, is to just take the captain out, wouldn't it? But who knows? Maybe he'll be injured next time. Well, he's not going to be injured for Sunderland, is he? But maybe we'll break it at some point when he's not in the team.
Sorry, Mikey. That just goes on about leaders, doesn't it? I know Daryl's being slightly facetious in that, but it's just about leaders on the pitch, isn't it? There's Cole Skews isn't going to start grabbing someone by the throat and telling them to do it. So Jim Magilton would have done yesterday. Can you imagine what would have happened yesterday if Jim Magilton was on that pitch?
Oh, for God, I've seen it. I've seen it with Jim Magilton even in the playoff season. Was it we got thumped at home? Was it QPR? I believe. You saw it, and Holland was I know we're not harping back, but Holland was like a silent, almost assassin type leader, wasn't he? He was very, very good. Yeah, he wouldn't get anyone by the throat, but he would leave his mark, wouldn't he? And we haven't got players like that. We're too nice, mate. Too nice, Jason right through the team.
Similar Jason DeVos when he was playing, he was just a proper man, man. He would just go through people. He wouldn't take no shit off anyone.
Too soft touch, too nice.
There's a question here for you, Dave, that's almost tailor-made for you, from Peter Carr. He says, 2/3 of the way through the season, we still haven't beaten any of our rivals for promotion. Is this squad not good enough, or are they being badly managed, or a bit of both?
I think it.
Tailored questions.
I think it is. I think it is some of that. Do you know what? People who say we've got the best squad in the league, I think it's a joke, because I don't think we have. I think we've got one of the biggest squads, but I think we've got one of the biggest squads of players, as we alluded to earlier, with quite similar ability. There's no one there. I don't think there's anyone particularly in the squad that can lift when we not saying a leader, but we need something different when we need a bit of flair to lift us when we're up against it out there. We haven't got anyone. We haven't got anyone like that.
I think a lot of our fan base is guilty of judging our players on their best ever performance, and we think that that's their level. But it isn't. It's like amateur golfers when they might hit 179, 180 yards.
Yeah.
So every time they're 180 yards away from the green, they pull the 7-iron out, and really it should be a 6 or a bloody 5-iron. That's exactly what our fan base does. We see one good performance, and we think that is the level of that player. He's brilliant.
You got to see. Look how the squad isn't radically different, really, is it, from last season? It isn't.
No,
okay,
and we're missing Trevor Chalabar.
It's not, Mr. Trevor. And look where we finished. Look how poor. Look how far adrift we were last season, for Christ's sake. So why should we? Why should we? Make that jump. And automatically assume we're gonna, romp away to promotion and stuff. Look, we're. I think.
What's another damning indictment is the fact that the one person on the pitch who is doing his best to drag us up pitches and in games is a 21-year-old central midfielder.
Yeah.
And you got guys who have played 400 games in the championship, and looking to him to do the job he's having to do two men's job in the central midfield.
And I think, do you know what? I think Craig, it goes through the club. I think we're too nice. I think we're just a nice club. We're a nice, safe option. Do you know what I mean for these players? We're
a pretty nice, safe option for managers as well. Slinging around 5-year contracts.
Yeah, I mean, don't even begin to.
That brings me nicely onto the question from Mullet. He snuck in 2 questions here. The first one is, does anyone miss having a team that weren't mentally weak? I think we've covered that, haven't we? Yes, we do miss it. How close is Lambert to surpassing Hurst as our worst ever manager, Craig?
Well, yeah, we obviously Mullet's talking about Mick here in terms of not having mentally weak teams, but we weren't overly mentally strong when he was in charge, were we? We
not in a big game.
I don't know if he is. Is he referring to that?
Of course he is.
Did we? When Mick was in charge. Yeah.
Mick was. We didn't win derbies. We didn't win cup matches. We didn't. We didn't win matches on the telly. We didn't win. It just didn't happen. So let's not say that things are suddenly
we just ground out points.
I've got to say, bar one season when we had a freakish striker that scored 27 goals.
We still didn't win many.
We still didn't when it mattered. Yeah.
We lost the derbies. So a question here from Loft Slowable for you, Dave. He says, dreadful. What was the point of keeping Dobra, as he doesn't play and the future is now? And will the lack of January additions cost us promotion in the end? I feel like we've been here before, haven't we?
Yeah, I think to a far greater degree, probably. I just think, the lack of additions, it just whoever you do get in, just gives the squad. Surely just gives the squad, freshens the squad up. Even if you do, get 1 or 2 players in on loan, we were never going to sign someone on a permanent deal, clearly, or pay any money for anybody. But just if you get a few more, as Mick used to say, faces in the building, bodies in the building, just gives everyone does give everyone a lift, give fans a bit of a lift. Instead, we got a reserve centre back from Bolton who's now injured, I think. Very odd, and more worrying. You hear Lambert interviewed last week on Radio Suffolk saying, well, there really wasn't enough money in the wage pot to bring in loanies he wanted to bring in, so. But again, if we are being priced out for players that who are going to improve the squad, then one thing, you just don't want to get loanies in for the sake of it who ain't no better than what we've already got. So
but then frustrating. Saying about that, though, Dave, Joe had a whisper about a forward that we may have been interested in and could have got in from Notts Forest, should we say? But didn't want to stump up the cash for his contribution of wages. Schmodic, you can. I'd have taken Schmodic and this other guy in our team above what we've got there at the moment. And this thing that Lambert says about the money not being there and Bart's money being paid in instalments. Well, so what? Then we pay in instalments, don't we?
Yeah,
that annoys the hell out of me every time that's mentioned.
Do you know what? This is Ipswich. We
comes back to being a soft touch again.
We probably give it all up front.
Did it? No, there was a thing though. Wasn't Evans was quoted as saying, well, not
we were
Evans
paying
quoted,
cash.
It was
hard cash.
We'll fire it over straight away.
question from Paul Westlake. I don't know if he's a relation of Ian Westlake.
I hope so.
He asks, do we really have the strength in depth to replace Hughes and Garbett, who are both injured now, and Edwards, who's suspended? And will we be recalling loans, Craig?
Well, this is probably going to. We talk about Sunderland and team formation things. It may well lead to a change of formation if we haven't got either wing back.
Effing 2.
Yeah, or 4-5 ... 1.
The isolated lone striker.
Yeah,
I can't see him
chase
dropping
that.
Jackson though, and Norwood will play. So
Yeah.
You would think so, and I assume Donasian will come in at right back, won't he? Unless
Alan Judge left wing.
Unless he shifts Wolfenden across there. I don't know. We'll see. Don't know.
So Dom Keeble's question. I mean, we can straight back this one, can't we? All three of us. Is it time for Thomas Holy? Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably not on left wing, but
No.
certainly in goal.
I can see him in that 10 role.
He could do the Steve Whitten role on the right wing.
Oh, couldn't he?
Get Ken Loft sling a few.
Loft those balls back post.
That's it. Yeah.
So did Steve Whitten do a similar job to Jamie Scowcroft in some ways when he played out wide?
Yeah.
Is it similar sort of like anchor?
Probably a bit more mobile than Scoey, wasn't he? Bit more mobile, I'd say, but
he had a good cross on him. Scoey was very much the target man, but yeah, Steve Whitten was deceptively cultured.
I tell you what, he would be. Put Whitten to one side. Scowcroft would his peak would be a good player for us in that role now, wouldn't he? At that level, Jesus, player.
Yeah, I don't know how Craig feels about you putting Steve Whitten to one side, but
no, not certainly putting it to one side. Just going back another few years, but yeah, great player, and probably one of the greatest crosses for that goal at Liverpool, wasn't it? Probably.
Mm-hmm. So we've kind of already touched upon this one, but Nick wants to know: is it a lack of confidence / psychological resilience that's affecting play during home games, making the atmosphere toxic at Portman Road, or is the toxic atmosphere affecting confidence and therefore the play, Dave?
Toxic. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was particularly toxic. Yes, I mean the second goal set the tone. The second goal was the kicker yesterday, and the manner of the second goal. I think the atmosphere has been great when we score the first goal. It's when we go one down and you see the place gets a bit edgy, and it's been like that, so many recent seasons, hasn't it? For goodness sake. And yeah, I think yesterday it was solely down, as it turned out, to the second goal and the manner of it, really.
But then we just don't win home matches, do we? We haven't done for the last couple of years. It's just we went through it, tail end of last year. We're talking we might now be into double figures of home wins in 2 years. But home fans don't see home wins, so I think we just need to give the home fans a little bit of leeway because they're not being royally entertained, and there's going to be an element of trepidation if things don't quite go to plan, because we've seen it all time and time before. And
it goes without saying that our home form, if we're going to have any aspirations at all, has got to improve, because I think 9 out of our last 13 games are at home.
Ben or no?
I think it is. I'm sure it's 9, for Christ's sake.
I'm sure I've heard that before.
And once you get beyond, just looking at them, once you get beyond Sunderland away, Wimbledon away, then, for instance, you get into, Burton at home, Oxford, but you get into, if you're still in touch, getting into April, if you're still there or thereabouts. I mean, first 2 games in April, Southend at home, Bolton at home.
And then we've got Milton Keynes
at home before the end of the
home on the last game of the season, haven't we?
Rochdale as well, yeah.
Who last game of the season, Mikey?
Milton Keynes at home, I think.
I mean, if
should
you
be
can,
gimmies.
Well, you should be. But the way things are, I don't really see us picking up against a team of any note, picking up much away now. But crazy.
Okay. Super Franz's question. I can't remember whose go it is now, but he said, if there was an honest talk after the Lincoln defeat, what do we think yesterday's dressing room was like?
down, I would imagine.
Mm.
As I say, it just all comes back. It's just going to become, hopefully, not just a self-fulfilling prophecy about these playing teams in and around them. They need to put some sort of performance in. I have some sort of reaction against Sunderland, and I was talking to super fans actually on Twitter about it, saying, well, we didn't get much of a reaction after Rotherham, did we? So why would we expect a reaction after Rotherham and now Peterborough? But crikey, they've got to do something soon, just to lay that to rest. Just get a win from somewhere, just to lay that particular thing to rest. I think that will do a lot.
I think so. I mean, I don't think you can underestimate just how poor we were at Rotherham. And people who were saying, "Oh yeah, we'll put that to one side." Christ, hang on, lads, you got Peterborough at home coming up Saturday. If you don't put that to one side quickly,
you'll lose 4-1.
You're going to get royally turned over, and so I think it just the whole malaise from that Rotherham game just totally went into yesterday.
Yeah, it's been a pretty miserable pod list, hasn't it?
Because there was, sorry, Mikey, but there were like 21,000 viewers for the Rotherham match, weren't there on iFollow?
I think there was something. I think that was the
Apparently
total.
so.
The way I read it, I think that was like the total of the night, and we were comfortably like if there was like 22,000 subscribers to iFollow on the night in League One, I think we had like 12,000. I don't know what the figures were, something like that. Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not
I
going to
did
get my
think.
tenner again.
Yeah, I initially read it
once,
like that.
Never again.
Craig, that there was 21,000 individual people watching it on iFollow, which did seem crazy.
21,000 going to home matches, let alone logging onto iFollow. And
it's a club. The club have put a bloody spin on it again, haven't they? He's got the cat, and the dog.
Yeah, as I briefly mentioned before, it's been a pretty downbeat podcast. So just to finish off the Twitter questions, Matthew Noble asks, which ITFC icons would the pod like to see immortalised in paint around Portman Road? So
like it.
So the B, Bobby Robson and Sir Ralph Ramsey have all got their own statues. So should we put them to one side, do you think?
Yeah, I think you can put them to one side. Go on, Craig, you go first.
Well, they were talking about it actually I think, was it on the radio they were talking about it, or it may have been on Those Were the Days. But it would just be nice to have just some slightly, not obscure, but just slightly off the wall. People like
You're going Steve Whitten, aren't you? You're going. I know where you're going with this. I know exactly where you're going with this.
Thinking of the other 11. People like Tarico, people like Roger Osborne, people who
icons.
Fan icons,
fan
rather
icons.
Than club icons.
Shall we just quickly? We'll go round and we'll give one each until we get up to 9, and then
where I'm going.
We'll see who we missed. So you go first, Dave.
Oh, clearly Pablo Canalgo.
Okay. Craig.
I'll go Tarico.
Okay. I would have said Tarico. I'll go Trevor Wymark for Harry from Bath.
You've done me there, haven't you? You have to go. I'm sorry, I know it's boring, but I have to go with Wymark's best strike partner, best partnership I've ever seen is Paul Mariner.
Okay.
I'm going to go slightly off the wall. I'm going to go Sergei Baltacha.
Okay.
Wow.
Just purely, something
right,
something obscure. You can first Russian to play in British football.
Go on, Mikey.
Okay. I'll be more boring than and go for Johnny Walk, because it would be a bit weird not to have him, wouldn't it?
Okay, for your Sergei Baltacha,
he's probably the best player that we've ever had that doesn't have a statue. So
yeah. For your Sergei Baltacha, I'll call you with Adrian Paz.
Oh God.
No.
Well,
sorry. I mean, obviously, you said John Wall, but obviously you got probably a greatest ever cap. You got to go Mick Mills, haven't you? For goodness' sake.
Yeah. Dave, would you go for if you needed a goalkeeper? Would you go for Richard Wright over? Paul
See what he done there. Probably go for. Well, then you'd go for Bart 3 times consecutive Player of the Year. Surely you'd go for Bart, wouldn't you? No, I think you'd have to probably go Roy Bailey. Stop it. I can hear it now. I can hear it going to my phone.
Actually, I think
this might be him now. Hang on a second.
To be fair, though, I think we do need some black and white. Bit of nostalgia in there. We need a Crawford and Phillips. Do we need those guys? Need to be in there as well, don't they?
Yeah, Ray Crawford, definitely. Yeah, Ted Phillips.
But how are they choosing it? How are they going to choose it? Is it not going to be not a postal vote? Bloody hell!
I hope that it doesn't go to a vote based on the votes that we've had in this country over the last few years.
Somebody probably should be there who sits astride so the great Robson side and also the promotion side, the second division winning side of 1960. Colin Viljoen probably should be there. There you go.
Quite an international flavour in the end to that.
I was thinking actually as we were talking
Spaniard,
about
Argentine, Russian.
Yeah. Viva la Brexit.
Oh, God.
Speaking of, next up for Town is Sunderland away. Mick Mills said he'd take 3 points from the next 3 games after the Lincoln win. Would you both take 3 points from the 3 games now?
He didn't quite mean it like that, did he, though?
He didn't mean it like that. But would you take 3 points now?
Yeah, I think he both. Yeah. Well, they obviously lost against a very informed Portsmouth side yesterday. And they lost
Apparently
one of
Sunderland were poor. Apparently they were very
poor.
poor.
I heard that. And they lost 1 or 2 players. I think McGeady's finally, they got him off the books now, haven't they? I believe he went to Charlton or something like that. Yeah. Tough place to go. I mean, I'm not sure. Again, at home they've lost. They haven't been unbeatable. Certainly haven't been unbeatable at home and stuff.
It's one of those places, and it's one of those places you just need to keep the crowd quiet. They'll get on the players' backs, and you know damn well we'll concede after about 5 minutes, and everyone will be cock a hoop, and they'll be.
Because again, following that, it won't be any joyride at Wimbledon away on a Tuesday night, will it?
No.
Rounds. No. Yeah. So. Yeah. Look, a win would be great if they can. What a great reaction if they can. Go to Sunderland, get 3 points there, then. Yeah, great, but
do we know how many away fans are going? I haven't seen any detail of how many tickets we sold for the away.
No, you'd imagine there'll be quite a lot of people going up and having a night out in Newcastle and all that.
Yeah,
1,500 maybe.
Probably around I was probably thinking between 1,000 and 1,500, which is no normal, is it?
Yeah.
Where can our followers and our audience find you on Twitter, Craig?
I'm at Fims75.
Dave, where can they find you? At David Diamond 3.
That's still me. That's still me. Yep.
Yeah. And where can our followers find us on Instagram? Do either of you know?
See, it's a bloody trick question throwing that one in there.
Blue Monday Pod Team.
Yep. Spot on. Anything left to say from you, Dave?
I've got all through the night without saying it, but crap.
Okay. And you, Craig?
Ditto.
Yeah.
Onwards and upwards.
Careful what you wish for.
Come on.